Welcome everybody to this fireside chat between Sitecore and Aleph. Today we're going to be discussing some of the myths around a headless CMS and really debunking some of these. I'm delighted to welcome on stage with me Eric Postema. So Eric leads Aleph in the region from a CCO perspective, is that right, Eric?
Basically correct.
And myself, I'm Viren Balakrishnan. I take care of solutions consulting for Sitecore across the Asia region, so across India, Southeast Asia, and Greater China. So I would love to get this kick-started and start by discussdiscussing really some of the challenges that are facing customers out there, right? And with the audience today being chief customer officers, right? You guys are living and breathing these problems. And I think one of the key problems that we're facing is just the proliferation of channels and solutions that are out there. So Eric, over to you. As a partner, as an agency, how do you guys lead your clients through this complicated situation?
No, absolutely. I think you're exactly right into saying that there's so many different channels, so many different solutions. Everyone knows it's an omni-channel world, and it's been like that for a while, but the channels keep growing. And the impact of that is clients are structured for that, right? Different channels means different skill sets for mobile, skill sets for web. So there's a certain internal structure that they already have. And I'd say, particularly in the Southeast Asia region, there's really a varying digital maturity. We're working, for example, with two clients who are in a similar space, kind of like a theme park or museum type space. One of them already has a full MarTech stack, a bit monolithic, campaign, CMS, DAM, everything integrated. But now they're looking to get a better e-commerce solution. And to do that, they have to relook at the complete architecture. The other client in a similar space is actually much earlier in the journey. They're on a smaller open source platform, and they're now looking to see, what technology do they need to power that end vision. And we're working with them to really leapfrog that by, for example, proposing a composable DXP. And I guess the three lenses that we use with our clients is, what does business want to achieve? What do the users need or want? What is the best user experience? And then thirdly, what is the technology that is able to empower that? So how do we lead our clients through that? Really by looking at those three big lenses.
Fantastic. And look, we have to be very open, right? I represent the vendor. So sometimes my opinions may be a little bit skewed towards what Sitecore offers, but ultimately, I think everyone's trying to solve the same problem, which is to solve the issues that the customer is facing, that the end user will be facing, and trying to do that in the most elegant, simplistic, and future-proof way as possible. That leads nicely on to this idea of monolith versus composable, right? Because we've all been told by the market for many, many years, right, consolidate, get it all into one stack, get it all into one easy tool set, life will be easy. But there have been massive trade-offs, right, that we've had to make in order to do that. So, just from, let's say, a media perspective, we've got people who are customer officers out here. You guys are well experienced with wall gardens, right, lack of data transparency, portability, extensibility. So, I think it's a very timely discussion for us to be having about a composable digital experience platform, versus maybe a more monolith strategy. So Eric, what are your views on kind of the composable DXP today, and why do you see people picking that over, let's say, a monolith today?
I think that's a really good question. If I look at it from the lens of a client, a couple things stay the same or evolve in a different way, right? You've got these business goals, business targets to hit. To be able to do that, you want to craft exceptional customer experiences. So that's from the user and design side. And our goal has always been able to make that work for a client. And we feel that headless and Mach technologies are a powerful way to deliver that to clients. Like we've recently joined the Mach Alliance. Mach Alliance is the microservices-based API-first cloud-native SaaS and headless alliance. It's an industry body that really focuses on future-proofing enterprise technology for those digital experiences that I talked about. Now, so why Composable DXP, right? The kind of everlasting challenge for marketers or CCOs, CXOs, is to connect that experience across the different channels, the omni-channel. And by creating a headless architecture, from our experience, you're really not just getting a platform for web, but across all, right? Whereas traditionally, you would focus in on certain channel initially with multi-channel as an afterthought. So you can really create a more engaging mobile solution when mobile APIs are not an afterthought or extra expense. Real headless systems don't have API as an add-on, but are API first. And being API first, you can use that content for other touch points like kiosks, or if your organization has multiple apps. Not only that, but you can collect all the data in one place. So you have a view of how the user is interacting across all the channels, and you're able to act on that. So that's the first part, being able to connect the channels. I guess the second thing is a real business impact is around speed and scalability. By having this Composable DXP, you kind of remove the steer code conversations about running the platform. Like, will we meet certain peak periods? By moving to SaaS, you kind of remove infrastructure from the conversation, and you can stay very focused on the customers and business results. We were working with US Women's Soccer, built a digital experience, omni-channel, React Native, composable architecture, delivered in 6 months. And lo and behold, they won the World Cup, which, caused huge engagement and spike in visitors. And like the conversation from a strategic perspective was not about, can we scale? Can we meet this demand? Are we doing the right thing? It was really focused on what can we do for our users now that they've landed in our experience. And
100%.
Yeah.
And, when you face these kind of situations, right, and we were talking to customers, I think we've both experienced this, right? We talk about things like the Market Alliance, right? And I'm so pleased that you guys have started that endeavor and joined that. Sitecore has taken that journey as well, through that microservices, API, cloud first, headless, right? And we're moving along, but it sometimes feels that customers, our customers and their problems, they haven't quite got that paradigm shift to say, okay, guys, we're not really looking at the logistics per se anymore. We don't really care about the infrastructure. We don't really care about the mechanics. We're just trying to get the best experience, number one, to our own customers, but number two, to our internal teams, right? And I think we've both been in the industry long enough to know that there are some horrific kind of platforms that we've all used to get the job done. And there are many ways of solving a problem, right? In this industry, we're very lucky, right? I think that flexibility to basically choose the path that works best for you, rather than maybe, let's say, other industries where there are some core systems that everybody uses and that's pretty much it, right? The proliferation of competition has been very, I think, useful to the CXO suite out there, right? There is a solution to everybody's problem, but I really believe that this kind of headless, kind of composable space is moving towards a world where basically all players can actually play nicely together and solve that piece of the puzzle that they're best at, right? So we're really, it feels like we're downgrading to upgrade, right? It feels like that, right? So rather than every solution under one roof, it's now go back down to the underlying problem and find the point solution that will solve that best of breed, and then put them together. And things like the Mac Alliance, as you mentioned, right, is just only going to speed that up, right? I think maybe let's quickly touch on a point. A frustration of a lot of people is we've been telling them for years, put everything under one roof because it's easy, right? And it will simplify things. Now we're telling them, hey, guys, pick best of breed, and the integrations are very straightforward with APIs, etc. So maybe with us debunking myths about DXP, composable DXPs and headless, why do you think that change has happened?
I think, actually, I'll take it back to a report that we did together with Sitecore. I think it was last year. It was a report on the digital mindset of business leaders across APAC. A couple of key points that came out, like the in-person interactions dropped by 50%. It really halved. And then on the flip side of that, digital channels saw this massive growth, right? Web, mobile, EDM, SMS, social. And a couple of key things that we learned from that is that, these days we might not have time to spend 2+ years on digital transformation. It's less about having a very large, big vision strategy and getting to that within the next 2, 3, 4, whatever years. What we're really seeing is clients getting more pointy and targeted on their roadmap, right? And really focused on investing on digital outcomes, not just transformation for transformation's sake. So they really know what they want to achieve. Like, for example, going direct to consumer, or doing e-commerce, or ability to see a consolidated view of data. And I think a composable DXP is really well suited for that, because from a platform and solution perspective, you can pick and kind of quickly integrate and go live with the right projects and solutions for that business need that you have. With that composable ecosystem, you can quickly focus on earlier ROI. Traditionally, you would get that full stack because you have this holistic vision, and now you need to get results much quicker. And I think that point that you make about taking a step back to take a step forward, what we love about this whole composability and API first thinking is that actually from the ground up, you're adding a capability for the whole organization, right? Instead of taking e-commerce for a specific department within your organization, no, it's e-commerce as a service internally. Same with content, same with data, all of that. So, and I think because the need of the hour in the last year and a half, it's made people rethink how they execute on their larger vision strategy. Yeah.
100%. At Sitecore, we've been marketing this phrase: "The customer of tomorrow has arrived today." Right? It's definitely that. Right? You're 100% right. The context of the world we're living in. Right? Look at this event. We're recording this in separate locations where typically we'd be in person, presenting to a crowd. And this is the new norm. So you're right. Businesses are trying to transform as rapidly as possible. And I actually think some of the benefits that this solution kind of conveys to businesses out there, there are multiple, right? I think you've touched on a few, like being able to be agile, being able to transform quickly, and be just really responsive. The other part that I've really seen a big change is the kind of enablement of teams out there. So yes, from a pure play SaaS perspective, I think that's always been a play, right? To democratize technology and get it further away from just pure IT and to the whole organization, as you mentioned. But I think there's another aspect here, right? As we're moving to things that are headless, that revolve around APIs and let's say JavaScript frameworks, for example, for the front end, we're actually seeing a quite a cool shift in the market, which is less of the reliance on, let's say, developers who are like .NET experienced, let's say for Sitecore, for example, and more looking at developers who are experienced with various front-end technologies. Now, as the people in the crowd may be aware, right, hiring at the moment has become a really tough thing to do in the market, right? The competition for really senior or experienced tech jobs is getting very hot. So being able to hire, a much wider or broader range of talent in order to get to the same goals and outcomes for a business is fantastic, right? I think from a risk mitigation point of view, from also a growth perspective, there are really massive benefits that are available to the businesses out there, and also to yourselves, right? I guess as a partner, as an agency, you guys love being able to have kind of like these unicorns who could potentially wear multiple hats and work in different pieces of the project, right? And be that guiding hand and expert hand for your customers.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Brian. And we're seeing that with our clients as well, and our internal team structure as well. Exactly like you said, right? Moving away from this kind of specialization in, for example, .NET and whatever else, and kind of having a more holistic set of team members on the front end side, like React, like you mentioned, and being able to focus in on kind of using the platform to its fullest, right? How do you personalize, target? How do you look at the data in a way that can derive insights to, drive business results? So absolutely aligned with you there, and also aligned with it is hard to hire now, particularly for those specialized skill sets. So this has been very helpful on that journey for sure.
100%. Okay, I guess the last question I really want to spend some time on with you is, how best to prepare for this change, right? We've been talking about the benefits. We've been talking about how great Composable will be. But let's be honest, a lot of people have put many years of investment and development into their existing stacks, right? And the frictional costs of just moving to a new system could be very high. So how is the best way to prepare for this? And how do you, at Aleph, guide companies through this process?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And, we have many conversations with multiple clients right now exactly about this. They vary per client, but in big buckets, what business wants to achieve generally has not changed, but how they want to achieve it has changed. For example, this drive from retail to e-commerce. So being clear as to what you want to achieve from a business perspective and a customer experience perspective, I think building that clarity, and maybe not just as a BRD or as a strategy document, but actually have a couple visuals that sketch out the different platforms, the different channels, and how it all works together. I think that helps drive the internal story of where we're going to. Now, then the next layer is what powers that user experience. And our suggestion is definitely have that technology platform vision. And the beauty is with this composability, you don't need to have the exact platform for every piece, right? Whether it's campaign management or whether it's your CDP, you don't need the actual product in there yet, but you can define certain jobs to be done. So the ability to go direct to consumer with commerce can be a bucket. The ability to see the cross-channel data, and manage centrally the customer profile is a bucket. And then you see kind of the larger user experience, the business vision that's there. You have this high-level architecture, which not only has the pieces that you want to put in, but maybe the pieces that you already have. And then the next part is, going back to that survey where people want to launch something within the next 4 to 6 months and actually drive value. We pick a piece and get started. To this point, we were, between Sidecore and Aleph, we're having a conversation with an organization that's very membership-driven. They run parks, golf courses, etc. And that's exactly how we're approaching it. It started off with this big vision, and the more we worked on that, it looked like a 2.5-year thing. And now we're at this point where we're saying exactly this. This is the larger user experience vision and the business vision. From an architecture, we know this is the direction that we're going to. This is what we already have. Let's bring in 1 or 2 of these pieces that are missing, and that's what we're going to launch with. And then when you as a business show results within 6 months, once it's been in the market a little bit, then you can drive and do the next piece. So that's kind of high level how we're working with clients to prepare for this.
Fantastic. I love hearing that. That's a very surgical approach, very testable, defining ROI. And I think that's a struggle a lot of organizations have, right? These transformation projects sometimes look so big once you start looking at the scope of what they can achieve that it's hard to clearly define the KPIs that will help drive this project through the many years it will take to, and you'll never really reach completion, right? This is an evolution because the goalposts are constantly shifting.
Yeah.
So love to hear that. And again, thanking you and Aleph for being such great partners to Sitecore, right? We've been doing a lot of work together recently and over the years. So I'd love to take this opportunity just to thank you for, number one, joining me on stage, but number two, being such a great Sitecore partner.
No, thanks, Björn. And the same the other way around. We've always enjoyed working with the team and kind of the collaborative effort between our organizations. So thanks for having us.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that fireside chat. And before we end, I just wanted to take you guys through what Sitecore offers and how we can help your business and ultimately your end customers have a better experience with your organization. So Sitecore, we offer a digital experience platform. Now that means a few things to many different things to different people, but really what we're trying to help you do is connect better with your end customer. Right, so we're all customers in our day-to-day experience, our day-to-day lives, and we have a variety of good to bad experiences, right? But as we discussed with Eric, that's shifting. Right? The expectations of customers are changing, not only as they get more sophisticated, but also because of what life throws at them. So we've all had a tremendous shift in life experience over the last couple of years, and being able to react and be responsive to those problems is where Sitecore really helps you. So we've spoken a lot about the composability of the Sitecore platform. And what that really means, if we were to look at what we offer, is just a variety of different tools, right, that are specialized at solving those problems that each of you faces, right? Be that content creation, be that digital asset management, be that campaign management, etc. Right? And look, we came from a background, those of you who know Sitecore well, we have come from a background of providing a monolith solution. But we've been listening to the market and we know exactly what you guys have been asking for, which is to have a solution that is ready, that is easy to implement, that is extensible, and that will work with your existing investments. So, please do feel free to come and talk to us at the booth or via the live chat. Up on screen, I will be sharing the contact details for both myself and Eric if you do want to connect. And I wish you guys a great rest of your event, and hopefully we can connect soon. Do take care. Bye-bye.